Welcome to EDTE 255, Introduction to Democratic Perspectives in K-12 Education. This is Module 3, Teaching Stories, the reading recap. In this chapter, you read a variety of stories by teachers. From their stories, we can learn, and this is called vicarious learning. We can teach and learn in a variety of ways. And throughout your career as a student in the teacher education program here at Chico State, you will learn a variety of pedagogical methods or ways to teach, including direct instruction, cooperation, discussion, simulations, role play, and through the role of feedback through rewards and consequences. In this chapter, by reading about other teachers' experiences, we can learn more about the teaching profession. And there are some ways that we can do that. In this chapter, specifically, we learn about school demographics and learn about some of the teachers and their demographics. We learn that currently, as a group, teachers don't really reflect the students that they teach. On a whole, they tend to be predominantly white and female. However, this is continuing to change as more men enter the field and more people from diverse backgrounds and races and ethnicities enter the teaching field. There will always be a slight generational gap as students who choose to become teachers enter the field themselves. We also learned that early education is also very important for a child's life. And until recently, within the past decade or so, early childhood education didn't get the emphasis that it was necessary. There were some programs that existed, such as Head Start, that helped provide students who lived in poverty or disadvantaged areas to receive the education experiences that their counterparts that were not necessarily poor receive. Under new federal laws, though, there's more funding to help fund these early education opportunities. One thing as an educator that you have to help promote is that early education is not just a babysitter. These people are trained professionals who provide instructional time to students to help them learn, acquire vocabulary, even some basic reading skills, numeracy skills, etc., and cooperation and communication skills. In this chapter, we also learn that there's a wide variety of motives for why people become teachers, and respectively of their motives, there are challenges and rewards to the career. You have already identified or thought about some of the motives that you have for becoming a teacher. These motives may include the love of working with kids, like helping people. Maybe you want to become a teacher because of the career stability. Maybe you love your field or content area. For example, if you love math, maybe you want to become a math teacher. Maybe you want to give back to the community that gave to you, or conversely, you want to pay it forward. Maybe you just love learning a lot, and so you want to have a career in an education setting. Maybe you prefer to have your summers off, so that way you can continue to learn or just have downtime to spend with your family. Maybe you want to work in an education setting so that you work with young people to stay young and feel young. Maybe you prefer a career in education because of the coaching opportunities and you want to have those experiences or replicate those experiences for other students and other individuals. And there's more motives for teaching than that. Whatever your motive, some motives are considered more appropriate among professionals than others, so keep that in mind as you articulate your motives. That said, your motives will determine some of the challenges and rewards that you'll face in the career. For example, if you have a motive to work with young kids, you might feel satisfaction and happiness if you get to work with that age group. However, if you don't get the opportunity to work with that age group or you're assigned to a grade that's higher than what you preferred, you might find disillusionment or burnout. Additionally, if you are looking for a career where you think that everything is created and you just have to be a technician and teach what has already been made, you might also find burnout and disillusionment. Also, you might be surprised to know the amount of paperwork that's required in education, especially when you're working with students with special needs. Everything needs to be documented, and that can also lead to burnout. There are some things that you can do as a teacher to help prevent burnout, and that is to have realistic expectations, to stay connected to your peers and colleagues, to make sure that you allow yourself some time and downtime away from school and work, and also live a healthy lifestyle of making sure that you have enough exercise, eat healthy, etc. Those will help prevent and overcome burnout. Another thing that we learned in this chapter is something called hidden curriculum, and you will learn more about hidden curriculum through your experiences in the teacher education program. But hidden curriculum is basically the idea that students learn more than just what is on paper or in a textbook. It can be the way that it's taught, it can be the way that it's assessed, it can be ways in that the school culture operates, and the way that technology is infused into the education process. For example, some of you might have had an education experience where computers were used all the time on a daily basis, whereas other students might not have had that opportunity. That reflects some of the hidden curriculum and how education is disseminated in our country and the differences between school districts and schools. Some of this hidden curriculum can also reflect issues and historical revisions, as we would say. For example, some schools may choose not to teach about evolution as a scientific principle. Some people might look at, or some school districts may choose to look at the Civil War and frame it as the war of northern aggression as opposed to a war within a nation. And these are ways that hidden curriculum, or the manners in which content is taught in schools. Some hidden curriculum is bad, some is good, and it's always helpful just to make sure that you're aware of what you're teaching it, how students are being assessed about it, and how the school culture and context in the community are shaping what students learn. And finally, what you also learned in this chapter is that teachers are lifelong learners. Once you become a teacher, you're not done with your education. Most states require continuing education of teachers to make sure that they're up to date on new laws, up to date on new techniques in pedagogy, up to date on any new ways of helping students with special needs or with their gifts. This helps make sure that teachers are prepared for an ever-changing society, an ever-changing demographic of students. And as a part of that, new teachers are expected to demonstrate their ability to teach effectively through their lesson planning, through their instruction, through their assessment and reflection, through a performance assessment called EDTE. Here at Chico State, we currently use a version of it called PACT, and you will complete this during your student teaching experience if you choose to continue in your education career. If you have any questions about the content in this reading recap or in this module, you can email me. Also, don't forget to make sure to take the quiz based on this chapter, and also make sure that you post your initial response replies to the discussion board at the due dates posted in the syllabus.